right, let's get the cans on. Oh, now what?
The video will be streaming if you want to share it around.
Is this one on the Facebook page or?
It'll be on the Cave Radio.
Cave Radio, okay. Air passenger reportedly refused to stop breastfeeding their cat. Give me a break. Save that for the show. Jiminy, you're reading that. You are reading that.
Out of my coat.
The question is, what can you do? Unring the Bell is a weekly show, Tuesday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. right here on Cave Radio. We will be featuring interviews and in-studio guests geared towards creating a support system for these young adults that gives them the best chance to land on their feet and truly celebrate their independence. We will be exploring ways to use the trades, music, art, and technology to unring the bell. And we invite you to join us Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Be there.
Finally played the whole thing. I wonder how I fixed it.
What now?
The software will like cut off the last second of the thing so it can overlap
Right.
things. But that spot that I made, I cut it right to the minute. Like there's no room, and I was hoping that wouldn't happen because of that, and instead it
threw you a
worse.
Curveball, didn't it?
Right. I'm wondering what button got pushed so that now it's not doing that. It's playing it exactly how I wanted it to. I don't know. Never mind.
We gotcha. You were a little too good at it.
What matters is I'm totally willing to take credit when none is due.
You're listening to CRBradio.com. The words and opinions you are about to hear are of the hosts. Do not reflect the management, sponsors, or affiliates of Cave Radio Broadcasting.
And Mike's alive in 3, 2, 1.
They're equal opportunity haters. It's time for Rants in Our Pants. Krista. And away we go.
All right, let's get this tryptophan coma back into full swing. It's me once again, Dawn. Cortez is not here, unfortunately, but we do have a returning guest. Hey, welcome back, Eric.
Oh, it's so good to be here.
And also to my right is my lovely wife, Amanda, who's reading currently about a passenger who got kicked off a plane for refusing to stop breastfeeding her cat.
She wasn't kicked off. They requested that they reprimand her after the fact because she refused to put the cat back in its carrier.
But was she breastfeeding the cat?
That's what the thing said.
Now, don't you think maybe bestiality on a plane would be a perfect sequel to Snakes on a Plane?
Is she Swedish? Out of curiosity?
No idea. It doesn't even say the country. Delta Airlines.
Delta Airlines. Our research is on.
All the fun happens on Delta. Anyway, once again, I'm Dawn, and welcome back to another episode of Rants in Our Pants. I'm going to take care of a little business before we start the show officially, because Cave Radio is hosting a raffle for a family in need this holiday season. The raffle tickets are $10 each. The grand prize is a fire pit full of booze. And who doesn't want a little spirits with their fire? An Alan Trammell framed, autographed, and authenticated picture. And this is if you live in the Redford area. This is a gift certificate to the Glenhurst Golf Club. And there are much, much more prizes. If you are interested, please listen carefully. You can send your $10 raffle ticket to via PayPal to bigandbigger@yahoo.com. That's big and bigger at yahoo.com. Venmo, you send it to at Daniel-Mayer-13. Cash App, $Cave Radio, all one word. And on Zelle, it's IMD Mayer, Mayer, at yahoo.com. And if you do so, please specify in the notes your name and how many tickets you want. The drawing will be held live, I believe, next Sunday on the Big and Bigger show, also on Cave Radio Sunday nights. So again, please help out a family in need this holiday season and get your raffle tickets today. Also, it is Small Business Saturday, and I know there are a lot of small businesses out there, both locally here in Redford, Michigan, as well as abroad. I'm going to pimp one out. This gentleman, he is part of the Mutant family on Twitter, as am I and my lovely wife. And he has a small business where he basically does various artwork. You're basically looking for Dork Fair Productions. You'll see a lot of the Last Drive-In artwork on there. All reasonably priced. All sales are final. You know, I'm not a really good salesperson. I'm not about to sell anyone a car. I'm not about to sell anyone, Girl Scout cookies. I was kind of good at that. It's like, look at me. Look how chubby I am. The cookies must be good. But yeah, if you can, again, go to on Etsy, Dork Fair Productions, and toss a little business his way. I'm sure he would greatly appreciate it. Also, because it was Black Friday yesterday, a lot of small businesses, especially during these times, it's just good practice to give back. So just think about that when you're shopping this holiday season. So speaking of which, we just had a lovely holiday pass us, which often I think gets ignored now because it used to be back when I was a little tot. The holiday seasons went like this as far as the year went. You had your Valentine's Day, St. Patty's Day, President's Day, you made your little silhouette, Abraham Lincoln or George Washington. Easter, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, and then followed by New Year's, which if you were, a child growing up back in the 70s like I was, your ass could not see New Year's, so you didn't really see any significant change in the holiday. But it seems like over the course of, I want to say the last definitely 20 years, you see Christmas in October. You see Valentine's Day literally practically the day after Christmas, with some New Year's Eve stuff sprinkled in here and there. And then, you got the other ones, including cards for what's the most ridiculous holiday? Well, it's not ridiculous. National Donut Day, I think, has its place, obviously.
Can't argue with that logic.
No. But Thanksgiving now often seems on the wayside. You hardly even hear anything about Thanksgiving other than, don't forget the Black Friday sale the day after Thanksgiving, or right down Thanksgiving evening. Our doors will be open at 6 o'clock. After you have that turkey, you come on in and you drop down $500 for some trinket little item or maybe a big screen LCD 4K TV. Whew. But other than that, Thanksgiving really doesn't get the same, I guess, fanfare as it used to be when I was a kid. It just seems like you go around and, you get the day off. In our case, you only get a day off everyone gets that 4-day weekend. Well, almost everybody, let me rephrase. And you spend the day cooking, you stuff yourself, and that's pretty much it. Why does Thanksgiving get the bum's rush, more or less? I think a lot of it has to do with people now getting I think if this is the proper term, I'm hoping it is, but the wokeness that it wasn't all that it was when you were growing up and what you were taught in school. Like, I remember looking forward to getting, you were told, make sure you bring in your Quaker Oats brand tub, your cardboard tube, and you make a little tom-tom, and you made like the Indian vests out of a brown paper, bag, which you don't see anymore at grocery stores. You made your turkey out of a handprint. You basically, you celebrated it. But as you got older, like I did, eventually, still, I may get older, but I refuse to grow up. You learn that it wasn't all that it was. There was no, hey, Indians, come on over and let's break bread and, pass the turkey and the corn and all that stuff. It was actually a lot worse than that. But, and I totally agree that, some people don't celebrate Thanksgiving for that reason, but can't you still celebrate it using a different meaning?
Yeah, and you should. To Indigenous people, Thanksgiving is actually a day of mourning. And yeah, seriously, like down depressing day of mourning. But
I totally understand
itself,
that.
I really like, though, and I agree with you. We should, I don't know, still celebrate it, but something else.
Well, it's a holiday that revolves around gratitude. So,
Right.
Like, I distinctly remember my first Thanksgiving after I read Howard Zinn People's History of the United States and like knew what happened in the 2 years after the first real Thanksgiving,
Right.
and what it was we were celebrating. And nobody, I was not quite of the age where I was going to start explaining to my family why I was being such a party pooper. But I was just a party pooper about it for a while, and still kind of am. It feels to me like the kind of gratitude you sit around and have with your friends after a funeral. Like, and you sit around and think about all the things that you take for granted that you're thinking about right now because we're just got home from a funeral. And I don't know, like I'm kind of okay with after how we treat Veterans Day and Memorial Day.
Right.
I'm kind of okay with having one holiday that's a somber, like we could do with one real actual somber holiday.
Well, technically, in a way, you are kind of coming from a funeral. I mean, we're all gathered around a corpse that we're all kind of like taking a appreciation of and all that other stuff before the ritual.
Consuming?
I was gonna say, what's the term when? Why am I drawing a blank on this? I am such a horror fan. I should not be drawing a blank on this terminology. Not disembowelment, but when you're dismemberment. Thank you, dismemberment.
The other dis.
Yeah, the other dis meat. But
that's not disintegration.
Exactly.
Which is sci-fi, different genre. Keep going.
But no, I've taken my own take on Thanksgiving as not necessarily a day of somberness, but to actually truly be thankful for things. Like growing up, you were just looking forward to the pie. You were looking forward to, at least in my house, the ambrosia, the turkey, of course, getting the fight over who got the leg. Usually it was between me and my brother, and yeah, he didn't stand a fucking chance. But now I don't know if it's because I hit 50 and I'm actually reflecting on this more. Like I'm entering the second half of my life where it's like you really start to appreciate shit. But I actually I sat back on Thursday, even when I was spending the majority of my day cooking the breakfast casserole, getting the turkey prepped, getting Amanda's mother set up on a online trading app. I really did sit back and reflect on things I am really, truly thankful for, and that I was happy to experience another year of, getting to go to the Mutant Jamboree back in July. I mean, it was a long drive, mostly for you. But it was a long drive, but it was still worth it. It was a nice trip. And we got to actually meet Joe Bob Briggs, Darcy, meet some new people that I now communicate with via Twitter. It was really I'm not going to say an eye-opening experience, but it was definitely awe-inspiring in a weird way, because to watch all those people when the actual last drive-in started and you saw Joe Bob pop up on the drive-in screen and everyone just cheering, and you could tell he was overwhelmed by that response. He was not expecting that. And then when they started doing the drive-in mutant oath and chanting along with them, and I remember one YouTube video, you could clearly hear my fucking, voice over everything, because I was just really into it. I'm like, the drive-in will never die. I really took it seriously. We got to go on our first little mini vacation in quite some time up to Traverse City and Sleeping Bear Dunes, which I can't, again, per the last show, I can't recommend it highly enough. Especially going in the fall, the colors are just popping. It's definitely a beautiful experience. Now, granted, there are some things that I wasn't thankful for and that I did take in the morning, but what are you going to do? It can't all be sunshine and lollipops and unicorn farts. So, and there goes the heater. Speaking of which, it's now snowing. Wasn't supposed to be here till tomorrow, but it's snowing. But, I really did take time to sit back and reflect on a lot of stuff and truly be thankful for it. And then you were telling us before the show started, you found a reason never to go back to Turkey.
It's true. It is true. I did a duck in a crock pot. It's a real simple apple cider vinegar brine, like a few hours beforehand. I just dumped a bag of whatever Aldi brand cornbread stuffing in it and crammed it into. Well, all right. So I didn't have a rack. You got to keep it off the bottom. So I balled up made a bunch of little aluminum foil balls for it to sit on, so it wasn't sitting right on the bottom.
Okay.
And just crammed it into this little 6-quart crock pot, and salt and pepper, little mozzarella steak seasoning. Let it rip for I think it's in there for 4.5 hours.
And you didn't put any juice at the bottom so it wouldn't stick or anything?
Well, no, because it was sitting on the aluminum, like the balls of foil, so it was kind of just floating basically up off the bottom. But I had it. After I put those down, I put another piece of foil in the whole thing, so I could kind of, when I went to go pick it up, I could kind of pick it up like a
harness.
Yeah, exactly. And then it had shrunk down enough so that I could stick in this little casserole dish and get it in the toaster oven. Got the top skin all crispy, and yeah, it's better than any turkey I've ever made, and it's not even close. And yeah, it could not have been easier. It's good stuff.
I mean, technically, you're still sitting it back for about the same amount of time a lot of people cook their turkeys and whatnot. But yeah, I might actually give that a try somewhere down the road, because I've got the crock pot. I love using it, but I only use it for certain things like crock pot lasagna, chili, making pulled pork, that kind of thing.
Right.
But I will say, with a turkey, you have all those options for leftovers, and you really got to get creative sometimes.
It's true.
I mean, you can have the traditional turkey sandwich, You can have like I don't know, put some breast meat on the side and add different vegetables for a different meal. But we've stretched it to turkey pot pie, turkey shepherd's pie. She's going to make a turkey chili.
Ooh,
You just got to figure a way to stretch this shit out.
right.
And it's, economically speaking, it is probably the perfect bird to do that with. But the funny thing is, speaking of stretching it out, Billie Eilish was talking about maybe we should stop eating turkey. Just think about it. And I go, wait a minute, you have my attention. So let me pop it up here, because it was one of those things, honestly, that I wasn't entirely sure where she was going with this.
I just know that ducks are horrifying creatures. That I mean, they're cute when they're walking around and when they're babies and stuff, but I don't know. I don't mind eating them.
Well, if you ever watch A Christmas Story, they were introduced to Chinese turkey, which was their original turkey got eaten by the Bumpuses, and they had to eat duck.
Right.
Okay, so Billie Eilish asked followers to reconsider eating turkey on Thanksgiving. Just keep it in mind. Turkeys are some of the most gentle creatures in the world, and 46 million of them are killed every Thanksgiving, the singer wrote in her Instagram story. First of all, I got to stop you there, Mrs. Eilish, or Miss Eilish. They're not that gentle. I've seen enough videos on YouTube where people have been kind of like attacked by turkeys. And if memory serves me correctly, Ben Franklin wanted the turkey as our national bird because of not because they were gentle.
No. Ferocity is
Yeah.
the word.
They're not exactly gentle.
No. None of them are. Swans are terrifying. Geese are terrible. These are all these animals.
Geese are dicks and they know it.
Right.
They know they're dicks because they can stop traffic and just stand in the middle of the road and go, move me. You can't hit me. It's against the law. But yeah, she, according to the People magazine article, the night before Thanksgiving, the 19-year-old Grammy winner encouraged others to go without turkey in a post on her Instagram story where she is seen cradling one of the birds. The fuck? Turkeys are some of the most gentle creatures in the world, and 46 million of them are killed every Thanksgiving. I know it's hard to change traditions, but just please keep it in mind. And then, of course, she signed the petition requesting Biden allow this year's pardoned turkey to stay at a farm. Okay, first of all, what do they do with the pardoned turkey that the president pardons every year? Do they kill it on the side and just... Or do they actually just say, okay, fly free, you're gone? I kind of think they do put it somewhere, don't they?
Where do they get it from? If they pull it off of a farm, then presumably they have to return it to the farm because...
No, they might buy it from the farm and, again, send it to a sanctuary. We don't know.
Oh, sure.
Well, at least I don't know. They never really say. They only talk about the actual pardoning. They don't talk about what happens to the turkey after the pardoning.
Yeah, it wouldn't be cool to throw it into the wild because...
Yeah, it'd probably be like, the fuck is this? What happened to the hand feeding at noon? What the fuck? But I'm gonna slightly agree with her. Everyone can have their own traditions as far as the actual holiday. Like, what's some of the things that people have on Christmas? The Christmas ham, I think, is one of them. Some people do still have turkey on Christmas. I think that's just a little too close to Thanksgiving. You might still be turkeyed out. But what do we have? Manicotti. If we can't find the manicotti shells, we have lasagna. I mean, I don't think necessarily you have to stick with certain traditions. Now, if people have something other than turkey, that's great. That's fine. Some people have Subway for Thanksgiving. Some people have pizza. I am not denouncing anyone's culinary choice for a holiday, but I'm not entirely sure. I agree with her. They're gentle birds. I've seen gentler birds than a turkey. I mean, a parakeet, and even they can be kind of vicious. But of course, I'm not going to eat a parakeet on Thanksgiving. That's just not very filling. That's like a snack. That's a chicken wing.
Maybe it depends on the turkey.
Well, I was going to say about the duck. You definitely like you kind of got to cook two for every one turkey you would have cooked,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah, same thing with rabbit.
And we only I was cooking for a small party, so I got away with it. But.
Okay, many of the turkeys pardoned in the following years were sent to the nearby frying pan farm. Wait a minute.
Yeah, this is between George H.W. and George W. But then in 2005, George W. started sending them to Disneyland
as part of the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Part of the Thanksgiving Day parade. Good call.
Uh-huh.
Marshmallow and Yam were a little skeptical about going to a place called Frying Pan Park. Bush joked.
Wouldn't you?
Yes. We sometimes forget just how funny how funny W was. Like I've read more than one story from someone who definitely went in to meet him like face to face with every intent of hating him and couldn't manage it. Like left was like, no, I would totally go and get a beer with him anytime. Like,
yeah,
I still hate everything that he's done and do not support anything that he supports, but we can hang out any day.
I'm kind of the same way. I voted. I'm not going to lie. I voted for him the first election, the second election. I couldn't even physically bring myself to pick up the pen and go near his name. But yeah, he was kind of funny. They will see. Peanut butter and jelly. Will go off to live at an educational facility in Purdue, not far where they were raised in Indiana. And
they will have access to a shaded, grassy area.
Doesn't that sound like something from Silence of the Lambs?
It sounds.
I want a place with some trees and some water.
That actually sounds every bit as terrifying as Frying Pan Park.
Yeah.
Just from all the Criminal Minds I've watched.
But yeah, it looks like they do get, for lack of better words, donated to a different facility. I mean, it doesn't. I'm not entirely sure what Frying Pan Park is or Frying Pan Farm, but yeah, wow. I'm not sure if I was a turkey, I'd want to go there.
Yeah, no, that sounds well,
every bit as horrifying as
silly thing.
At least the axe is quick.
I like right. Well, I like this that they started sending them to the George Washington's Mount Vernon estate, historical estate or whatever, but they told them to stop sending them because George Washington didn't have turkeys, so it wouldn't be historically accurate. Okay, people, calm down.
Wait, what?
I mean,
I'm pretty sure turkeys existed in his time.
Right. I mean, does this mean that they've got the slaves running around that they pulled their teeth out for him? Like, if they're how historically accurate are we talking here?
Yeah, because quite frankly,
anyways.
That's what we're going with.
Also from the research department, the breastfeeding cat lady was on a flight to Atlanta. I still don't know if she was Swedish or not, but we're gonna go.
Okay, read the story because honestly, this is fucked up and bizarre. I mean, I have questions. I have lots of questions.
All right, so horrified passengers on board Delta Air flight DL-1360 to Atlanta reportedly watched as the woman caring for her cat a step to. Oh, this is not written well. All right.
Grammar
so
was not part of it, huh?
Basically, you're allowed to have an emotional support animal in the cabin of an airplane as long as, if they're a small animal, they stay in the little carrier on the floor in the seat, like underneath the seat in front of you. Those are the rules. And this woman, who is as anonymous as she could possibly be, started breastfeeding her emotional support animal, was repeatedly asked to please follow the fucking rules and told them no. And they were like, well, I guess then, and all they could do was the pilot could send a message to the next the airport that there's a passenger is breastfeeding a cat and will not put cat back in its carrier.
Okay.
Scroll down a little bit because it said something else about other support animals.
There's also a story
Comfort
here
turkeys.
about somebody brought a duck. There's a duck, and somebody
Gliding
also brought a
possums.
small pony,
Snakes, spiders, and
a
more.
miniature pony named Flirty.
Okay, let's go. I get it. There's unusual support animals, and we've known that for years, but let's go back to the breastfeeding part because I can't wrap my mind enough around this. She whipped out her tit and put her cat on her breast and let it go to town.
And the cat went along with this, which means this is a thing.
Yeah.
This is a thing.
This has been something that's been constant. This is not a support animal. This is her spouse. This is her significant other. This is wrong on so many levels.
So so we don't know anything about this woman clearly.
True.
When I've started thinking to myself, when somebody does something that makes absolutely no sense at all, I try to figure out what would this be a trauma response for? Like what is the horrible thing that could have happened to this woman that would fill in the blanks and make me go, okay, I could see how this might make sense.
Maybe she miscarried or something, and
maybe
she's producing.
But
milk.
I am not fucking led. And I remember a Phil Donahue show from back in the day where they had people who were doing bestiality, and some of the things that they would do is take kittens and latch them onto their nipples for that little stimuli while they jerked off. This sounds borderline to that.
I miss Donahue.
It was one of those last ones before the Sally Jessies and the Jerry Springers took over.
Yeah.
But honestly, I just can't wrap my mind around someone who would just whip out their tit and latch a cat. I mean, I know people get bent out of shape when people breastfeed their own babies, which is bizarre in and of itself because it's a fucking natural thing. This is not. I mean, excuse me, I gotta feed my hedgehog. I mean, what the fuck?
I mean, we have to assume that it's since this is an emotional support animal in the first place, that this is for her and not for the cat. Like this is not something the veterinarian has recommended as a medical course of action for that.
Can you imagine taking your emotional support animal into the vet and noticing its certain levels are high?
Right.
Like, I'm not entirely sure.
What is all this human estrogen doing inside of this little kitty cat? I
mean, even the vet, when I took Juju, even asked me, there's some alcohol in your dog's blood? And I go, she has a problem. If I put the glass down and walk away, she's got her snoot in there. I swear to God. And she's just looking at me like, okay. But we do have animals that if you have to, they're like worse than watching your glass at a bar. Because if you she had a eggnog and rum filled glass, and she turned for a second. I wasn't in the room, and our Jack Russell drank half of it before we even realized what was going on.
Blah, blah, blah.
He spent his entire evening pacing in circles.
He just went around and around like the little wall that separates all the just around.
And I can understand.
I'm still walking. I'm not drunk.
I can see a vet looking.
I'm not drunk.
I can see a vet looking at the cat's levels and going, the last blood test. Can we talk?
Yeah.
Something seems a little off.
Because milk isn't even really supposed to be good for cats once they're no longer a kitten.
Well, apparently,
I don't know how human milk rates against cow milk, but
this sounds
disgusting.
This sounds like I'm already, not battling with people, but I've had to explain to more than one person fairly recently why you don't feed animals people food. This is taking that to an.
This is people food in a liquid form.
This is not where the GPS said we were going with that.
No, it took a hard left.
Yeah.
But it kind of brings me up into another disgusting thing. Now, I saw this product a while ago. I mean, I'm talking years ago, and it was gross when I saw it then. It's gross. It's gross to discuss it now, but I saw it again on Twitter thanks to one of the people I follow on Twitter. He posted a picture. Now I'm going to, if you're not watching on YouTube or on the Cave Radio page on Facebook, you're just going to have to use your imagination.
Just enjoy the sounds.
Yeah, just enjoy the sounds of it all. This is, for all those watching, this is the Sweet Sue canned whole chicken. Okay. It is a fully cooked 3-pound, 2-ounce chicken. No stuffing. Don't let the picture fool you. Fully cooked and home style goodness. I got a feeling there's nothing good about this.
Yeah, that picture's way off.
Yeah, it's really off. It's really off.
This cannot be accurate.
You can always count on delicious home-style recipes from the kitchens of Sweet Sue. Sue, you're going to get bitch slapped after this is done, I'm pretty sure. Our original recipes use only the fine ingredients to guarantee fresh goodness for your family every time. Now, I've heard that some people actually do buy these, like, I want to say people who buy it, like, in case, like, there's a power outage or a zombie apocalypse or whatever. You know, survivalists sometimes stock up on these.
Kill me quicker.
Yeah, kill me quicker. So the the serving, remove the chicken from the can. Be sure to save the delicious broth. I got a secret for you. It's not broth. Place chicken in an uncovered pan. We got it. Baste well with some of the broth. You mean the gelatinous goo? Okay. Place in a hot oven for 400. I thought it was cooked. Place in a hot oven, 475 degrees for 10 to 15 minutes. Baste 2 or 3 times while it's heating. To prepare a delicious gravy, brown 2 tablespoons of flour. Mix in a cup of the broth. They keep emphasizing this broth. Did you notice? Allow to thicken over the burner for the desired consistency. A delicious chicken soup may be prepared by adding rice, cooked noodles, dumplings, or maybe some strychnine.
Maybe some strychnine.
I added that myself. The other excellent uses for this product: creamed chicken and mushrooms, chicken a la king, fricassee, or just serve it cold as chicken comes from the can. You must chill before removing from can. Whoopsie, didn't do that. They didn't say, well, obviously they did. Do not heat in the can. Why? It's a metal can. I mean, the worst thing is it'll explode, right?
Well, no, there's a, well, yeah, first of all, that'll happen. You would have to vent it somehow if you're going to try that. But there's a coating on the inside of the can that you're not supposed to heat up and then eat.
Oh, we should call the 1-800 number. Questions or comments, call 1-800-633-3294. Yeah, I have a question. Why? I mean, Spam's pushing it as it is. Corned beef too, but why? And I did vow, granted I didn't chill the can, but our house was on the little cool side. I did vow I would open this on the air and maybe even sample it. It's going, I hate to say it, it is a waste of a poor chicken, but I am not going to eat this whole fucking chicken. There's no way in hell. This is going to be one for the ages. It really is. I even brought my trusty can opener.
Right. You know, did I leave? I think I even have a little, like, these little crock pots that I just picked up from somebody.
It's not that trusty. It's not turning.
Totally unrelated to my duck adventure.
Oh! It smells like a fart. Holy shit.
This is going well already.
This is not going to be good. I'm gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way because this sucker ain't turning. So far, I should have brought my electric can opener. But the smell, I'm at ground zero here, and this smells like what my dog did.
I'm gonna stay upwind as long as I can.
It smells like what my dog did on the way to Philadelphia when we gave him Rachel Ray Moist. Don't ever. Oh, this is why I didn't wear a mask, folks. Oh, I'm enjoying all.
I was going to say, of all the days,
I'm
to not be prepared.
Oh, I was prepared. I was prepared to freaking have my nose fall off in agony. By the way, millennials, if you're watching, they say you don't know how to use a can opener. This is not how you use a can opener.
We are doing it wrong.
We're doing this to improvise, to overcome, to adapt, and to do something we really have better brains to do. And I'm almost there too. It's getting loose. And loose.
Man.
Yeah.
You, between the two of you, you have the least encouraging faces.
Well, that's because I asked her. I said, "You're going to try this, right?" She goes, "I guess."
I mean, not right out of the can.
No, we're going to pour it in the bucket.
Well, in the bucket. I love it. I'm just saying. I think I might have a way to at least like start cooking it.
There's a microwave in there, isn't there?
Jesus.
I think there is.
There is.
Why would you make it that even worse?
Like,
because I like sharing misery.
I think if they find out that I let you put a whole canned chicken in the microwave, I might lose this job. I mean, Bikes, Babes, and Booze like fire me every week I work their show, so maybe that doesn't even matter. But
I might spin now.
I almost got it. Keep talking while I'm doing this. Don't.
Right.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we have success, Professor Oppenheimer.
well, I still can't smell it, so I'm counting this as a win so far.
Well, I still got to try to get.
I'm gonna get a bag in this trash can.
Let me pop this back because I don't want there to be splashback. Do we have?
It's not a word we get to use very often.
No.
For the record.
Do we have a? I'll use one of my keys.
Wow.
Added extra iron, you know. Let's see. House key? No. Let's use the key. I have no idea what it's to.
There you go.
Let's see. Alrighty. Oh, so there is broth.
Something broth-like here.
Wow. Come here. You gotta take a look at this.
No, I don't.
Oh,
No, I don't.
I'm time to start the video.
What's in the box?
What's in the can?
What's in the can?
This.
Oh yeah,
This is wrong on a few levels.
But that smells vaguely chicken-y, brothy, kinda. It's not quite horror show.
We're getting there.
Really? That's
Sorry, I took a flash. I'm sorry.
I don't know. 20 years in food service. I've
I've
seen all kinds of gross things.
And I'm
do
sorry.
awesome,
I'm
amazing
sorry,
things.
Dan. I will clean the table when I'm
I was
done.
gonna say, do you want a bag over there
Well-
for some? Hold on, let me get you some splash protection.
We need a splash guard. Oh, yeah.
I can smell it now.
I can
I can smell it now. I can smell clearly now. The chicken's here. All right, so I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna record this. As I'm recording this, as I'm pouring this, this is just fucked up.
Should probably be a-
Kinda
Yeah,
got
that should work. That should work.
At least protect your laptop. Which,
Oh,
I mean,
true,
let's
true.
face it. That's what we're really
Yeah, we're not. Yeah,
or not aiming for.
can you
Pun
imagine
intended.
going into Donut Town after we leave here? Why you smell like something foul? What died? Okay, so
Here we go.
here you record it with. You're gonna have to do two hands. So.
Okay. I can manage one.
Oh, okay. So again, if you're listening and not watching, you got the better option. Oh. That was probably poop. All right. And there she goes.
Oh,
Splashdown. We have splashdown.
that
Looks appetizing.
looks like something out of
Ugh.
H.P. Lovecraft.
We found Cthulhu's love child. Oh, God.
there you go.
Thank you. Thank you. This is the end result.
Man.
It looks like a face hugger. I'm not gonna lie. Looks like the face hugger. Ew. All right, so
I have a segment I do on a couple of the other shows that I work on, and it's called Things You Can't Unsee.
here we go.
You guys win, just so you know. Like,
Well-
I've been hunting foul memes for months now, and
You're welcome.
That's
Okay, so the skin, delightful, gelatinous.
emulsified, one might say.
Ugh. Trying to dig so I can find the meat here. Why? I don't know.
Right. This all.
You
This
don't.
all. Okay, so this feels more and more like something that was preventable.
Things that things that make you turn vegetarian real quick.
Oh.
All right. So this, I say, is a satisfactory bite, wouldn't you?
Wow.
All right. Might as well get video of this one too. Sorry for the quiet, folks. I'm silently praying. Okay. Oh God, it smells worse. Now that I've actually
Wait, I'm sure you're supposed to cook it first, though.
technically no.
Technically,
They
no?
said you can eat it cold from the can.
Some dude ate the whole thing, broth included.
Yeah.
Okay.
He even drank the broth.
Okay.
Oh God.
am I'm super.
The smell alone right now it's just making me want to gag. Oh God. Okay, so you better enjoy this because you're getting a bite too. Well, it smells like chicken. Isn't that what they say all the time? It tastes like chicken.
Right?
Our Father who art in heaven. All right. Okay. Oh. You know, it's not that bad. I know people are listening going, what is that noise?
It's the noise of me not being able to hit the mute button from here because I'm holding a camera.
I'm going to tell you, honestly, the taste, it's not that bad. It really isn't. That being said, what made me want to gag first was I didn't get all the gelatinous part out of it. So I hit a little bit of icky, if you will. This enough for you to try? Oh no! I'm gonna get you video
Better
of
have
this
gotten
too.
rid of the icky.
I got rid of the icky. Good Lord. Okay.
I've had
take the
canned
fork.
tuna.
That's a terrible idea.
All right. Go ahead. Okay, so I didn't get rid of all the icky. Sure, put it in my hand. Oh, good God! Don't go on the table.
All right.
All right, go ahead. Well,
Tastes like chicken in a can.
yeah. I will say, like I said, I will say this. It's not horrible. The visual presentation is disgusting.
I thought it would be saltier.
The one lady who reviewed it on her YouTube channel said it was very salty. It's not that salty. I mean, it is salty, but I've tasted worse. But I'm going to snack on it a little bit. I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, I don't want it to go to waste, but I'm not about to eat a whole fucking canned chicken on the show. People are going to be like, this is the weirdest ASMR I've ever heard in my life.
Well, I'm gonna put a mic right on, down on the chicken, so as you're using the fork to poke around at it, I want to catch all the little wet plastic bag rubbing together sound effects you're gonna get out of that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, are you still eating? I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, I'm pretty much done.
No, I'm pretty. Nope.
I mean, like I said, if it's more visually disgusting than it is taste disgusting. I mean, I can kind of understand why some people will buy it. I will tell you, you can find these on Amazon, but be prepared to have your eyeballs get out a little bit further than the actual visual of this sucker, because there are some places on Amazon that they will charge you $50 for this privilege. That ain't worth no chicken in a can.
No.
No.
But you know, I mean, if I was like wanted to make some chicken noodle soup and, you know, didn't want to have to keep fresh chicken on hand for a long time, that looks like that is going to fall apart into chunks that you would expect to have in chicken noodle soup.
And once
That's
you
exactly what I would do with it, just pull off get rid of the icky bits in the bones.
and it's not that hard to pull it apart.
No.
To get rid of the bone, to get rid of the see, what's really getting me is the skin. It's the skin that looks horrifying because it's gelatinous. And I'm looking at it like, God save the queen. But at the same token, again, you know, I was expecting it to be way worse. I was expecting it to be extremely way worse.
I didn't think it would be that bad.
No. I thought it would be worse. But, you know, I was expecting the heavy salt. I was expecting with all that gelatinous. I mean, I'm sorry. This is not broth. I mean, it's what happens to it's what happens to broth if you just let it sit out. I mean, it's disgusting. But I will say, you know what it reminds me of? May it rest in peace because it no longer exists. But Ming's Chinese restaurant, their egg drop soup, that's what this reminds me of in a weird way. Because remember how gelatinous that was? Mm-hmm. But yeah, one more bite and I'm gonna call it a day. That's great eating.
The zombies are coming.
Yeah, probably. Because I can see, like you guys said, if you just bought this with the sole intention of just using it for like a chicken soup, chicken dumplings, or even some other things, this would be good. It's not worth the price, but it's not that bad. I think people, I think it's because of the visuals. Truth be told, it's the visuals that make it as disgusting as it is, or disgusting sounding as it is. But as far as it being disgusting tasting, no, it's not. It really isn't that bad, folks. It's getting a bad rep. It really is. I would say, basically, I'm asking you in a polite way to go to the bathroom to get something to wipe this up. I'm trying to do this without saying it on the air. And she's like, what? The cum stain on the table, dear. We need to wipe it up. Just to keep the listening. Anywho, now that we have gotten that out of the way, and again, if I had to give it a rating out of 5 stars, I'm going to say I give it about a 3. It's average tasting. It's just the looks that really are ugh. The actual visual alone is the thing that's disgusting.
This feels like a thing that should be graded against what you thought it was going, like what you thought it was going to be. And
I thought it was going to be a -10.
Right.
No, and it actually was surprising.
Well, anything, I mean, I don't know. Better than an MRE. That's really all you're looking for.
True. They did have other things that you could get, like cheese in a can, which I heard was actually pretty good. So if she actually thought that was average and it was too salty, the cheese must be fucking amazing. Was it rye bread or was it just
brown bread?
Brown bread in a can. You can do that. So if you want to go camping and have a nice Sammy, you know, some bread, some chicken, some cheese, hey, you can find all of it on the evil empire known as Amazon. I'm not sure you can find any of these things in the grocery store. I've never seen a whole canned chicken at say a Kroger or a Meijer or a Aldi. Have you?
I don't think so, but I wasn't exactly looking.
True, it was not exactly on my shopping list before last week, but you know, we'll just say we'll file it under a. I can understand why some people will buy it to put it aside for a just in case measure, and that's it. It's not something I would actively seek out to buy again, but I can chalk that off my bucket list. And if in 24 hours, matter of fact, on your what other shows do you do?
Oh man,
you do a plethora.
a lot, right? Let's see, the Girls Show Thursday night. Is this thing on Saturday at noon? Artesia Bomber at 4. Downriver Girl and Friends Monday night, like they do booze Monday night when they show up. Ordinary Heroes Tuesday morning. I think that's everyone. Oh, and well, I'm doing the Real Nonsense. They're coming in after you on Saturdays until the end of the year.
Okay.
So lots.
So within the next couple of days, if I all of a sudden get food poisoning, I am going to call up on the show and go, let me speak to your board operator. Why didn't you stop me?
Remember that thing that I totally just said I was going to do and you were supposed to stop me? Why didn't you?
Why didn't you slap that fork out of my hand?
Look what you've done. All right, I'll take that call.
But that's if I get sick. I don't think I'm going to get sick, but you never know. Let's see. Now, taking a sharp left, I would be remiss if we did not talk about this. There were 2 recent court cases. I should have opened with this and then gone into the chicken, but what the hell? There were 2 court cases that were decided recently. One with a guilty verdict, one with a not guilty verdict, or an acquittal. One, people applauded. The other, people were outraged. And I actually want to have a talk about that. The first one that came out was, what's his name? Rittenhouse?
Mm-hmm.
The kid who took an AR-15 from his home in Illinois to Wisconsin to help, he said. And he ended up firing it at several people and killing a few. I have thoughts about this but I want to get to the whole basic facts first before we get to my questions. But during the trial, one of the witnesses, the first thing first, the defense counsel did not want the victims to be referred to as victims. That's fucked up.
I've heard that standard too, though.
But why? Because it automatically vilifies the defendant?
Yeah.
You would make a great color commentator, you know that? I mean, seriously.
I did check out Legal Eagle did a video on it, and other than mispronouncing Jacob Blake's name twice, his commentary was pretty interesting. But he kind of made essentially that same point that like how close we kind of are to basically if the roles had been reversed, the 2 people that died would instead be on trial and claiming self-defense, and it would go the exact same way. Like everybody was defending themselves
Right.
within the laws with how Wisconsin laws work.
Right, because I will own up, I don't know where this was specifically, but at the same time that his verdict came out, they also, one of the things I saw on Twitter was talking about somebody who basically did the same thing. They didn't necessarily pack an AR-15 and go to another state and end up murdering someone. No, they ended up killing someone in self-defense, but now they're up for 30 years and pretty much found guilty. The difference is Rittenhouse, Caucasian, at least I think he's Caucasian, and this person is Black. Now, again, I don't know if this was in Wisconsin as well, if it was in another state, but I have so many things about this trial. I'm not going to lie to you folks. I am a facts first person, even though I have been known to fire my mouth first and then regret it later. But I try desperately to get all the facts first before I pass my judgment. It honestly serves me well before I open my mouth and sound like a blithering idiot. That being said, one of the witnesses for the prosecution basically said Rittenhouse did not fire upon him until he went to go attack him. So basically, it proved a self-defense cause. Here's the thing. The person who, and I'm not trying to vilify the witness at all, but the witness was another white dude. So I'm not saying this to be speculative. Word, please.
Speculative.
Thank you. Word, please. I'm not saying it to be that, but look at the other people who basically died. Let's see. One of them was shot in the back. Did he live or die? I think he died. But let me see. Images. I'm trying to get a good view of the... Okay. So some of the people that were shot upon by Rittenhouse, I mean, did it look racially motivated? I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on that. I'm not in this kid's head. That being said, the one thing that I keep getting in my head is something that Rittenhouse said. First of all, those were the biggest crocodile tears I've ever seen. I've seen ugly crying. That kid was rehearsing. No, that's something an old man does, or an old rich man does before he's about to fire the janitor. But the thing is he said that he went to Wisconsin to help people. Why? The first question I have is, why did you bring an AR-15? Well, it could be argued it was unstable situation. It was hostile. He wanted protection. Great. How are you going to treat people medically if you're holding a weapon that requires two hands to operate? I don't think you were there to do sutures, sir. I'm sorry. Facts are muddled at best. I can understand that the jury had a very, very thankless task at hand, but I'm sorry. No. That's the thing that would be in my head if I was a juror, is why in the fuck did you say you're going there to help, but you packed an AR-15 for protection? You were there pretty much shouting racial epithets. It was on video. I mean, unless an award-winning CGI team rigged this up, that don't look good. That don't look good. You're not there to help, I don't think. But yet he was found not guilty. And then, of course, he was invited to meet El Dumpo Trumpo. Yeah, that paints a lovely picture. I'm not saying anything if you support him, as in Trump or whatever, but that is the most hateful SOB. And I know there's people that post, like one of the people I actually like, his name's Suit. He has a YouTube channel that I follow. He posted a picture of Biden is going to be spending Thanksgiving at a private something of another. And then he posted another one that was from, I think it was 2017, where Trump surprised the troops on Thanksgiving. How many times did Trump do that? I'll wait. A lot of times he just went to make himself look good. And to visit the troops, he was kind of pressured to go. He didn't want to go. He didn't. So, I'm sorry, Suit. You can post that picture all you want, but that's so apples and oranges. Most of the times that fucker was at Mar-a-Lago. I'm not saying Biden's great or anything like that. I did vote for him because I didn't want another 4 years of the Orange Menace, but I'm just telling you, apples and oranges, dude. Apples and oranges. But let's go to the other one. Arbery and the 3 men that were basically on trial for chasing him and gunning him down. Now, they were found guilty. They were trying to get rid of the 12th witness, but they didn't describe the witness. And a lot of people were like, what do you think the odds are that that 12th witness is black? And they wanted them off the jury. Got news for you. Doesn't matter. The jury did find them guilty, which tells me even if it was a majority white jury, they saw enough fuckery that said, hey, this kid was jogging. You gunned him down. Even if you thought for a heartbeat that this person was up to no good, who are you to don an imaginary badge, drive after him, chase him down, and then shoot him? Who are you? I've seen the video. I mean, I just don't understand how you have 2 similar cases. One where they drove a truck to drive down a black man and shoot him dead. They were found guilty. And another kid who drove from his home with an AR-15 to Wisconsin to help, and he's found not guilty. Anyone want to explain this? Because I never lie to you folks. I'm not knowledgeable at all of either case, except for the basic facts. And I did follow it based on the basic facts. And it blows my mind how one jury can look at the facts that were laid ahead and said, well, it was self-defense. The kid was all on its own. I mean, he shouldn't have fucking been there. If he would have stayed his happy little chubby ass at home, he wouldn't have been put in a position where he would have to whip out a weapon to shoot at people. But instead, he was there to help people and put in a position of a hostile situation. And whether it's fact or not that he did it in self-defense, the fact is if he would have kept his ass at home, this would never have happened. Some people would still be alive. Some people wouldn't have, to go through the PTSD of being shot because this kid thought he was just being helpful. I don't believe for 2 fucking seconds he was there to help. He was, let me rephrase. He was there to help, but I don't think it was the help he was talking about. I think we've got a long way to go. A long way to go before justice is even remotely, and I don't think justice has ever really been, even back in the day, fairly balanced. The lady in front with the blindfold and the scales, it's only balanced if you have a lot of money. It really is. Only rarely does it seem like it works in favor. And this is coming from someone who truly believes in all the facts have to be presented. I'm not basing it off of popular opinion, public outcry, none of that. I'm looking at facts. And I'm using this one as a reference where the host of Talking Dead was accused of assaulting and abusing his ex-girlfriend, and he was raked over the coals. He lost, I think he lost being named as, because he was the co-founder of the Nerdist. He lost that. He was suspended temporarily from the Talking Dead, and then it found out the bitch made it up. Now, again, we should give the victims, no matter what, an ear and believe their story, or at least hear them out, but always examine all the facts. And I know that makes me sound kind of angry or whatever might be portrayed with what I'm saying, but it comes back to, how can you have two almost similar cases and get two completely different outcomes? I don't get it. I just think Rittenhouse was just a dumb fucking kid. Plain and simple. And the sad part is that motherfucker is going to be made a hero.
You know, the thing that bothered me the most about the whole Rittenhouse thing were the pictures of him in the bar after he got out on bail. And he's, first of all, I mean, okay, it's you know, Wisconsin, Northern Illinois, it's borderline backcountry. So, you know, you're 17 and just hanging out in the bar with your friends and family is probably the only thing that there is to do for 100 miles in every direction, whatever. Going all night, having your picture taken with people with a t-shirt that reads "free as fuck" on it, like what it is that you've done is something worth celebrating.
Yeah. It's like you still took a life, dude.
It leads me to believe, that we're just not thinking about this the same way. And I've got at least two different people in my life who like watched the trial, like all the testimony, you know, everything. They have all the facts, you know, all the information, and nobody has managed to sway my opinion one way or the other. And I've been very upfront with everyone about how completely biased I am on the topic. Because those pictures solidified in my mind the attitude that he was bringing to the situation, and that's kind of all I need to know.
Yeah, I mean, if you were truly remorseful over what had happened, I don't think you would be sporting that t-shirt at all.
No, you wouldn't.
So I'm sorry for those who think, "Yeah, he got off." No yays here. None. As far as the other trial with Arbery and all that stuff, the looks on their faces when they read the guilty verdict, and you just heard people, you know, shout it, and it was real brief, but you did hear some that were happy and some that were like, no. Again, and I know people who know me know I'm I will whoop your ass type of mentality. And maybe there's even parts of me that are somewhat, I guess, steeped in condoning vigilantism in certain circumstances. But in this case, it just looked like these guys, it looked like something out of the old movies I used to watch where you saw the Klansmen just going out and cleaning up the yard, so to speak. And to me, it was just disgusting. The video, what would you do if you had a truck with guys with guns following you? Are you going to just say, "Can I help you?" No, you're hauling ass. And when this guy was running, from the video I saw, because I think the third guy that was on trial was the one who actually recorded it. I could be wrong, but they got out of the car and they just shot him. He wasn't reaching for anything. He wasn't like going to his shoe to get out a weapon, if you will. And I'm doing that with air quotes. It didn't look like he was reaching into his waistband for a weapon. They just shot him. What just cause do you have for that? To say no, they were just protecting. Even if, hypothetically, even if they were there to protect the construction supplies, was it really worth shooting him dead? Seriously, was it? I mean, this country, fuck, this world is just getting more and more messed up, which is why I watch more YouTube than I watch the news. I'd rather watch cats jumping at the sight of a cucumber all of a sudden than the evening news, to be honest. That being said, but at the end of the day, there are people who won't be with their families anymore. All because one is free as fuck, and the other was gunned down for going for a run. Is that where we're at? I mean, seriously?
I don't know. I don't think things are getting worse. I think we're just finally in a place now where we have things like YouTube and Facebook and everything that makes it impossible to hide how awful things have always been. So the appearance, things look like they're getting worse and worse. It's an illusion. It's a speed of information thing that will come out from under that eventually.
Oh God, I hope so. Because again, I know I'm betraying. I'm as a friend of mine at work says, you're about to say something boomer, aren't you? And I'm not a boomer, but yeah, I'm about to say something boomer. But I remember being so much happier without Facebook, Twitter, even though I got a lot of friends on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. But yeah, I was so much happier. Back when people knew to keep their mouth shut about politics. You didn't know what they were really, truly thinking. And in a way, it's kind of good. In some ways, it's kind of bad.
I don't know. I'm always going to lean towards more transparency, whatever short-term hurting happens as a result. But I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm wrong about stuff all the time.
So am I. Mostly about changing slight gears here for those in the football know. Today is the rivalry day. Now, granted, Michigan has a rivalry with Michigan State, and they did lose to Michigan State. I do tip my hat to Michigan State. However, there is 5 minutes left in the Ohio State-Michigan game. I said Michigan was going to lose. Now, I understand people who are listening or watching. I'm wearing my Michigan hat and my Michigan jersey because I am a Michigan fan. I fucking hate Ohio State. I'm not the fan I used to be, although I was watching a little bit of the first quarter and I was already doing my pacing. I'm shouting at the TV, "You fucker, how can you miss that block?" That being said, I'm not that heavy-duty fan anymore that's going to have my whole weekend killed if Michigan loses or not. Now, I said Michigan was going to lose. Now, there's 5 minutes left in the game. A lot can happen. A lot can happen. But right now, as it stands, Ohio State is 2nd and 20 on the Michigan 25. They are down by 15 points.
Yes, they are.
So Michigan has 5 minutes to hold Ohio State down and have the first win against Ohio State in quite some time. And probably the first win for Jim Harbaugh as the Michigan coach. He has not won against Ohio State since he took over back in, I think, 2012. I think.
Yeah.
So it's been quite a ride. So whether or not they hold on to this win remains to be seen. I think Ohio State will blame the snow. We weren't expecting there to be frickin' snowflakes. But considering all week long, hell, for 3 weeks, they've been touting the big three, so to speak, of Ohio State, which I don't remember their names. I make a practice not to memorize anything Ohio State. I find it makes me happier. But okay, so I had to go check Twitter. I will never forget the sound of that chicken leaving the can. No matter how much I drink, that is staying with me forever.
Things you can't unhear.
Right. And someone said that we use canned chicken a lot, actually.
Yeah.
But
wow. I'm just glad that the mic picked that up. That's really, I feel like my job here is done.
I'm not sure if he actually got it. I don't know if he watched. I'll have to ask him if he watched it on the YouTube channel, as well as the Cave Radio channel. But yeah, the fact that, going back to Ohio State, the fact that it's taken this long, I said if Michigan loses to Ohio State, and I fully am prepared to have this one guy at work come up to me and go, "Oh, you said they were going to lose, huh? You're wearing the Michigan stuff, huh? And they're going to lose. They lost, huh?" And I'm like, dude, I'm a realist. Ohio State was very dominant. They destroyed Michigan State last week. I mean, I'm sorry, but they did.
It was like, I mean, what I've been telling people is that you can't say that you got taken behind the woodshed if they beat you so bad that the woodshed fell down.
Right.
Now you're just in the yard getting the shit kicked out of you.
Yeah, I mean,
And you have a mess to clean up.
I was so surprised that Michigan State only scored 1 touchdown against Ohio State. I thought they were going to score a lot more. I really did. But something must have happened that they just weren't that fully prepared. But it's surprising me right now that Michigan actually is beating Ohio State. Because I said if they lost to Ohio State this year, this would be Harbaugh's last year.
Right.
Because say what you want, the alumni will only be tolerant for so long. And if you are Ohio State's bitch, that's where they draw the line. Because they can't. I know a lot of alumni from Michigan that, yeah, they can't abide by that. This is their make or break the year. If they have to hear another 364 days of how Ohio State has owned their alma mater, they might just drag Harbaugh out of his office by his ears. They're done. Some of them are like, "Oh, give him a chance." He's been here since 2012. Chances are over.
Yeah.
So if they do manage to beat Ohio State, hey, I'm happy. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
But I honestly fully expected them to lose. Just by the way that they took their foot off the accelerator, so to speak. Yep, we got 4 minutes, 45 seconds left, and Michigan is only up by 8 points. So again, they could still lose. This is theirs to lose. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for them. Let's hope they remember to keep playing. Excuse me, there was a can in the chicken burp. Oh my God, that was wrong.
Wow.
Whoo, that was a smell.
This show's winning so hard today.
Oh God. Oh, that's gonna kick back in different ways.
Touchdown.
Well, like I said, they're only up by 8 points.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, with just over 4 minutes left, Ohio State can get a touchdown, get a field goal, and beat Michigan.
No, touchdown and 2-point conversion gets them to overtime.
True, but Ohio State wants to win.
Oh, obviously.
Their whole thing is to beat them. And I saw a clip and it pissed me off because talk about being petty. They were talking about the whole rivalry between Michigan and Ohio State. And there was a scene that they showed the Buckeyes trampling the banner, the Go Blue M Club Support You, wrapping themselves in it and stomping on it. That is just stupid. Come on, guys. That's as stupid as the flag planting in the middle of the stadium. That's as stupid as wiping your feet on the thing at the 50-yard line. I mean,
all right, but I still, for some reason, fondly remember Terrell Owens doing the Dirty Bird on the Dallas Star that one time. That was
the Dirty
fun.
Bird.
Yeah.
What's the Dirty Bird?
It's a dance, I think. It involves looking like a bird.
Oh.
But yeah, I just despise Dallas for. I mean, it's the same feelings I have for the Yankees and
the evil empires,
the Lakers. Yeah, those teams.
That's what I wanted to segue into, and this is the perfect way to do it.
Beautiful.
Michigan Ohio State is known as the rivalry,
right?
Okay, but is it the rivalry? In sports, there are so many of them. There's Lakers Celtics. There was Red Wings and Colorado Avalanche. I say was because I don't think their rivalry is as heated as it once was.
No, that was kind of a like it all revolved around and there's a whole thing.
It involved the hit on Draper
yeah.
and then the fight the following year, and then it scaled a few, like maybe another season or two, but then it just started going down.
I mean, Claude Lemieux had been annoying the Red Wings for like years before that because he was on that Devils team that swept them in '96, I think it was. So yeah, like there was some build up to that, but I'm thinking like you've got Yankees, Red Sox,
yep,
right,
yep,
Lakers, Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking. I mean, who's the Patriots against everybody?
It used to be Dallas and Washington,
right?
Back in, I want to say the 80s.
Yep. But I mean, as far as college football, yeah. I mean, I think it still kind of is. It is. I mean, if it's not that, it's Auburn, Alabama. I think that's the only other one I can think of.
I was about to say it's one of the oldest rivalries.
Right.
Auburn, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Texas State.
Yeah.
Or Oklahoma. I want to say, what's another one? For a while, Michigan State and Notre Dame had a pretty heated rivalry ever since, like I said, the flag planting.
Right.
And then,
well, yeah, I was gonna say Notre Dame kind of has the New England Patriots thing. Like it's kind of them versus everybody. Like everybody just.
Well, when you got a whole station that broadcasts every game. And they don't even play it on any other. I'm talking about NBC, which
right.
I always call the Notre Dame Broadcasting Channel.
Right.
When you got that, yeah, people tend to fucking hate you.
Yeah.
Hell, I even watched the movie Rudy, and I hated that fucking movie. It's like someone creamed that kid. But I would say, yeah, that is a pretty heated rivalry. Ohio State and Michigan. I remember Coach Woody would have them fill up their gas right before they crossed the border because he wasn't spending anything in Ohio, or not in Ohio, in Michigan.
Sure.
They would bring their own water because he couldn't trust anyone from Michigan not to taint their water. He punched that one kid in the sidelines, but I don't think that was a Michigan game. He was just a dick. You have on the Michigan side, I'm trying to think what other than flipping some cars that have Buckeye license plates on it. I know there are some Michigan fans that are guilty of doing stupid shit, but I hear a lot more. Oh, Michigan scored.
Yeah, they did.
2 minutes left. Ohio State. Tick, tick, tick.
I don't know. I've got a feeling that the game itself is more of a rivalry for Michigan fans than it is for Ohio State fans, maybe because Michigan has won one national championship in 60 years, and Ohio State is pretty much in the running for it every other year.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I college. I mean, the college sports has always been a bit of a blind spot for me, and there was just too many teams, and I just never got really hooked in to any particular team. I had a bad incident involving Steel Reserve in Ann Arbor years and years ago that kind of just gave me a reason to hate the city. So I let that inform my sports rooting decisions for a while. But no, I'm thinking I can't think of another college sports rivalry right now that is definitely bigger than Michigan Ohio State, even with all that.
No, there's just too many emotions that go into the game, during the game, after the game, and none is more demonstrative of this than when we went down to Columbus, Ohio to do a show. Okay, I knew we were in Columbus, but I did not know exactly where in Columbus we were because it was dark. I couldn't really see buildings that weren't properly lit. So me and Amanda get to this bar, and we're there ahead of time. And there's a Borders, and she loves books. So I'm like, oh, let's go into this Borders bookstore. Now, I should state the fact that I was wearing my Michigan varsity jacket. Did I also forget to mention this bar was right across the street, as was the Borders from the Ohio State University? I was shoulder chucked, pushed into bookshelves, given, you have a lot of nerve. And basically, I think we were escorted out for our safety because I'm wearing a Michigan varsity jacket across the street from Ohio State University. And these fuckers, seriously, I'm not bothering anybody. I'm just wearing a Michigan varsity jacket, and these guys are giving me shit.
Yeah, I had kind of the exact opposite thing happen. I mean, I wasn't in a bar or in any sports gear or anything, but I definitely got tickets for a show and didn't realize that it was in the on-campus venue. Like whatever, they have like a bar, it's like a live, music venue on campus in Columbus.
Oh God.
And I didn't realize that it was on the night of the game when Michigan was on the road. And I finally put all this together in the couple hours before we go. And I'm like, so guys, I just, want to let you know, we are all united by our love of Jimmy Eat World. But it would be super important for everyone to know that we are taking our lives into our own hands today. And no, they did not flip my minivan over and or set it on fire, despite the Michigan license plate. But we also did as little advertising as we possibly could. So,
which is probably, I'm not going to say that's probably why, but maybe when you said we're all taking our own lives in our hands here,
right.
Let's be adult about this. We're here for our love for this and not for any other reason.
We're surrounded by children trapped in the bodies of grown-ass men. So let's all just keep to ourselves.
Exactly. I mean, I think a lot of times when we're having our respective fandoms, we lose that. We really do. So I learned humility the hard way by being at that Appalachian State game. That taught me humility in a heartbeat.
That'll do it.
So I don't live and die by my love for Michigan anymore. And despite people trying to get my goat, bringing up Michigan State or Ohio State or I just look and go, this doesn't define my day. I don't know why you're opening your mouth, but That's okay.
I will say I'm definitely going to work trouble with the snap jokes in as assuming I come back and sit in every now and then.
The snap jokes.
Trouble. Oh no, a little trouble with the snap. Oh, sorry about that.
Whoopsie.
Other than that, though, I'm with you. Like I don't. The last time I let a sports team emotionally involve me, I remember it was a Lions game. We were playing Minnesota, and the guy who was the inside, he was a defensive tackle before we had Sue. What was his name? Sean something or another. I can't remember his name right now. But,
yeah, it's escaped me. I know who you're talking about.
But they got stomped and managed to lose in just a soul crushing, embarrassing way. And I realized at the end of the game that I don't have to allow these strangers to emotionally manipulate me if I don't want them to. and so I stopped. And it was kind of weird. Like, the Red Wings won a Stanley Cup and I was like, yay. And that was about it.
Yeah.
The Tigers got to the World Series and I was like, ooh, yay. And then that was about it. Of course, I mean, that went the way it did. I felt good. I felt good about not having my heart ripped out after, getting all pumped up about it's better this way. It really is.
Yeah, I will say I let sports dominate me pretty good over, like, not over the last 10 years because I've actually scaled back, but yeah, 2006 when the Tigers got to the World Series, I wanted to bitch slap Justin Verlander so hard for firing a fastball to third base when there was no one there because he thought he could get the runner. And we're in line to meet him for his autograph. I'm like, hold me back, Amanda. Hold me back. But basically, I used to get so heavily. Oh, yep, they won.
Huh?
But I used to get so heavily emotionally invested that I used to have things set aside at the house to destroy if Michigan was losing. Like an old CD player that wouldn't work. I had a hammer on the ready, just bam. But the best one, you want to tell the story in two parts?
Which one?
The Mormon missionaries on the porch. I'll feed the story because she's lost.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay, so I invited my brother-in-law and my sister, which, Deed, hope you're feeling better. Jeannie, you too.
Okay, I remember.
We invited them over to come watch the Michigan game. Okay, and I think they were playing Indiana. And the doorbell rings, and I go, Amanda, can you get that? There's another canned chicken burp. Boy, those are foul. Anyway, that's going to be like Lysol at the end of the show, folks. Anyway, doorbell rings. I go, Amanda, can you get it? Can you get it? Can you get it? She opens the door, and there's these two nice and polite young men. Clearly, they're Mormon missionaries doing their little recruitment work. This is the first and only time we've ever had Mormon missionaries on our porch.
Not
First,
the only time.
In my time, yeah, it was the first and last time. So she opens the door, and they're doing her spiel. And just as they get to a certain point, Michigan threw an interception to an Indiana player, and this guy's on a breakaway. And all of a sudden, it breaks out into this. You goddamn motherfucking son of a bitch! Do I have to go out there and show you how to fucking do it, you sons of bitches, assholes, cocksucking motherfuckers! And these two poor gentlemen apparently took a step back from Amanda, exchanged a glance with each other that said, do we really want to save this house? And it was clear and concise, no. They wished her a good day and took the fuck off. It's like, what kind of fresh hell did we just enter? And, oh man, I'm telling you, I'm glad I'm no longer that fan, because my blood pressure would probably skyrocket to a freaking just levels that are like But yeah. Am I glad when Michigan wins? Yes. Am I upset when they lose? For about 5 minutes, and then I move on with my day. And 5 minutes is being generous. I hardly get upset anymore. But at the same token, I will say I do enjoy college football a lot more than, say, pro football, because one reason only, and no, it has nothing to do with cheerleaders. It has everything to do with the drum corps. I don't know what it is, just a that kind of thing. That gets me more pumped up seeing or watching than pro football. And someone please explain to me the fight song for the Detroit Lions.
Nope.
Marching down
Stop.
the
There's no
field.
reason for this. We could just pretend like it's not real.
I didn't even know they had a fight song.
Professional football teams don't need a fight song. You don't. You don't need any of those things. What?
That poor bastard hardly gets to sing, though. He hardly gets to get behind the microphone this season.
What a tough life.
I mean,
I hope he's getting paid well.
Yeah, he gets to sit there and go, nope.
No.
Nope. Nope. Oh, well, pass me the hot dog. You know, to me, it was just like, oh, dear God. Like, let's round it back to Thanksgiving. The tradition. Everyone gets to watch Dallas play and the Lions play. Does anyone in this country really want to see either team play, especially the Lions? I'm not going to lie. I'm a Bears fan. I'll show myself out later. But I always hope the Lions win. But I don't know what it is about them. I don't know what is the major problem. They're like the Cleveland Indians team in the movie Major League. Only they don't get that happy moment.
Here's the problem. Have you seen the Godfather movies?
Yes.
Okay. William Clay Ford was Fredo. That's it. The Detroit Lions were the rinky-dink, nightclub that the family let him run because he was not smart enough or good enough at business to be in the family business. And he ran the Detroit Lions exactly how you would expect a shitty mobster to run a mediocre dance club. Not very well, and somehow endlessly supported by, the family business. That's it. That's it. And, it's going to take more than a few years to undo the culture that surrounds something like that, because the Pittsburgh Steelers have had like 3 head coaches over the last 60 years. Legit. I'm pretty sure Bill Cowher started in like 1985 or some shit.
It seems like it.
And, there's no stability. There's no accountability. There's no reason to do things better. Because of the way the NFL is set up, every NFL team has every reason to believe that every 3 to 5 years things are just going to swing their way, like by accident almost. Every few years Jacksonville springs up and wins 10 games. Buffalo's been good for the last however many years.
Even Cleveland.
Yeah, even Cleveland.
But yet,
that's all. We just have to figure out how to get them out of the shape that you're in when the dumb son of the family gets to run the business for.
I'm your older brother, Mike, and I was stepped over.
not smart.
Like everybody says,
I'm not
I'm
dumb.
dumb, I'm smart, and I want the stakes.
That's right. That's him. That's it.
Meanwhile,
Not smart, Mike. I'm dumb. Not dumb.
I can run the Lions. I can run them. Who's running them now? Isn't it the wife?
Sheila. It's. I think it's his daughter, or whatever. Like, it's Sheila Ford and some guy who has never been involved with professional football is the president of football operations.
As one should be.
And as could have been predicted, the coach that gives the best press conferences gives the worst game day performance. And Dan Campbell has been killing press conferences since day one. Absolutely killing them.
It's the only thing he has been killing.
And I you know, and he sounds like the guy that you want to be your head coach when your team is winning. You know, he sounds like he's going to say the things that you're going to be like, yeah, that's my coach. And I mean, you look up and down our coaching staff, and I'll tell you this, you get stuck in a back alley and have to fight a biker gang. You want the Lions coaching, like you have to pick one of the coaching staffs.
Yeah, you want him.
NFL team.
You want him.
The Lions coaching staff are the guys that you want for sure.
So
we have the best fantasy football team from 1996, you know, ever.
but
you know, you can't. It's not just the losing; it's the losing in shocking, new, and embarrassing ways. I mean, this past Thanksgiving game was everything. It was everything that you know that could have been, like calling that timeout the way that they did at the end of the game, making sure that they weren't going to get the ball back, going out of their way to get in their own way.
well, the funny thing is, and it's weird, despite everything, they're not going to be the 0-16 Lions.
Right.
They did ironically
Avoid that.
tie with Pittsburgh.
They did. They are going to avoid that.
But how do you tie against Pittsburgh and not win any fucking games?
I don't know. I mean, well, their quarterback was out that week, so they had what's his name? Mason Rudolph was.
They had one hand tied behind their
But,
back. They'll
yeah.
fight them with their eyes closed.
Right. Of course, apparently our Jared Goff was playing with a broken rib or whatever, so he had no business being there either. I don't know. I'm just
So even battling a team that was more or less handicapped, they still couldn't pull out a win.
no.
There you go. I'm not going to say anything really disparaging. I mean, it is the guy's first year. It does take a while to hit the ground running and actually produce, but even for a first year, this is not good. This is not good.
Well, and the thing is, like I said, it's not just the losing, but it's the losing. It's finding an embarrassing way to stumble into yourself in the last couple minutes of the game,
Right.
to absolutely make sure that it's out of your hands now. That's frustrating because I've never, even when I was all fired up about shit, like I was never the sports fan that like needed my team to be competing for the championship every single year. I mean, the Red Wings spoiled us for a couple of decades there, but you know, I was never that guy. All I ask for is to, you know, beat most of the teams you should and be competitive against the teams that, you know, that are better than you.
Right.
That's all. You know, when you're a dog, give them a run for their money. That's what I want, is make them work for it.
Yep.
Take it out of the referee's hands.
Yep.
Do those things.
Yep. And that's kind of what gets a lot of them in trouble, is that whole thing with the referee calls. They live and die by them. And it's like, look, the best teams get over that shit. They ignore the calls that don't go their way and move on. And I'm not saying Michigan is beyond that, because that was one of the things people were complaining about against the Michigan State game, is they couldn't get over the one call. But Detroit, the Lions specifically, are infamous for just getting bad calls and not being able to overcome past that. I mean, it's just how they are. And a comment about our video. Yes, bravo on your mic skills. Because I asked him, did you watch? And he said, well, I borrowed my daughter's YouTube account to watch in between freezing and decorating the outside of the house. I got to witness the unveiling and sampling. It was unique. And now feel the urge to rinse my mouth out, and I only watched it.
For the win.
You're welcome. That's all I got. Actually, I told him the burps are way worse. Because they are. The only time I've ever had a burp that was even worse than that was having something garlicky, and I want to say it was like a sausage, and then having to put on my mask at work. And the burps were just bad. They were just bad. Not bad as a, shall we say, Taco Bell White Castle fart. That will burn your nose hair.
We're not. I don't even acknowledge White Castle as food.
It's an appetizer.
It's something.
It's also a colon cleanser.
I was in a rock band for a long time, and one time, the bass player, who was rather infamous for it, him and his housemates, through legendary parties as a part of the white trash invasion of Southern Livonia. And I remember waking up on the living room floor, in particular Sunday, wandering into the kitchen to find the lead guitar player taking the remainders of the crave case, which had been sitting out at room temperature all night, and placing it into the largest frying pan in the house, along with all of the eggs that were left to like scramble. And I was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "It's the White Castle Llama. This is what we always do." And I was like, "I have to get out of this house
Quickly."
I love all of you so much with all of my heart, but this is not the life for me. I'm going to make some changes about how my life decisions.
You know, there are people that stuff their turkeys with White Castles, with sliders.
I didn't need to know that.
No, you do, because then when you smell that smell, it's not the landfill, it's not the sewer backing up. You know, someone is doing something beyond the realms of nature itself to their turkey. And unfortunately, we did not get to watch our tradition.
Which one?
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Oh, one of my favorites.
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. That is the theme, I think, or the motto for just about every good intention that goes wrong. But yeah, instead we watched Addams Family Values, because it had the first Thanksgiving play with the infamous Eat Us song, or Eat Me. It also had just Wednesday stealing the fucking movie. But I introduced Amanda to this movie called Thanksgiving.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, it pretty much is. It starts off with tits.
Okay.
The entire screen is just
nice tits too.
Just the entire screen, areolas. And it's only like an hour and 6 minutes long, so it's barely a movie, but it's an extremely tongue-in-cheek, poorly acted, funny movie. It really is. And it also has no sequel, but it has a sequel. It goes from Thanksgiving to Thanksgiving 3.
Nice.
There is no part 2, even though they said part 2 is in space. No, there's no part 2. But we also didn't get a chance to watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Nice.
I watched a little bit of Blood Rage, which is another movie that was set in Thanksgiving, but I think what they need to turn this into a fucking movie. Eli Roth, if you are listening, you teased us with it in the Grindhouse double feature. Please, in the name of God, turn Thanksgiving into a horror film. It's the only movie I've ever watched that made me slam my knees shut during a preview. And it's basically a cheerleader on a trampoline. She's jumping for her boyfriend, wee. And then all of a sudden she goes to do the splits on the trampoline and the knife comes out of the trampoline. So guess where it goes?
Right.
I just slam my knees shut. We're like, we're done here, but it needs to be done. It needs to be done.
Okay.
So let's see. We've got, let's see, after today's show, we will be back on, gotta grab the calendar. This is what happens when you get hit in the head multiple times, folks. Remember, wear a helmet. This is going to be interesting. See, in the month of December, we're technically off next week, but we'll be back on the 11th, but the next show wouldn't be either till the 25th, which none of us are going to be here. I think we're just going to be running shows, and then the next opportunity would be the 1st, which is New Year's Day, and let's be realistic. I will still be a little sleepy from the night before. So I think after the 11th, I'm going to get with Cortez maybe the following week and record a kind of like not necessarily a best of, but you know what I miss wrapping up this show? And this is what I think I'm going to do. Because they started playing Christmas music like literally 2 days after Halloween.
Yeah.
But you know what you don't hear on the radio? You don't hear Bob Rivers anymore.
Bob Rivers.
You never heard Walking Around in Women's Underwear?
Yeah. Okay.
You don't hear that.
That guy.
You don't. A lot of his stuff, I guess, is deemed too inappropriate for times of now, like the Chipmunk song.
Well,
that sort of thing.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, okay, just with Walking Around in Women's Underwear in particular, that's kind of, I want to lump that together with Dude Looks Like a Lady, Aerosmith song.
Yep.
And I don't have anyone in my life to have this conversation with. Like, is that viewed from the from that side of our culture? Are those things viewed as like is it seen as mockery? Is it seen as solidarity? Because in the Aerosmith song in particular, oh God, what's his name? Steven Tyler is very clear. He still bangs her.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I don't care. Like, he's still, whatever. We're still doing it. Like, so, I've always wondered if that was, like where that fits in.
Is it mockery or is it just, stuff like that they go through as well? Like the old Bob Seger song, Turn the Page. Because how many hair bands, I mean, I can't tell you the number of times I used to remember looking at a picture of Vince Neil and Motley Crue back when they wore the makeup, right, and thinking, he's pretty, that kind of thing. So it's, I want to say it's not exactly mockery. If anything, it's in a way comparing when you like right now, I'm dressed much more like a dude. Every article of clothing, save for one, is seen as male clothing. So you could say I'm being a cross-dresser right now. Am I mocking anyone? No. Am I often mistaken as a dude, especially going into the bathroom? Boy, those are awkward moments. But the point is it's not mockery. It's just, this is how people dress, how they look, and how they feel comfortable. And as you said, he still banged her. It didn't matter.
At no point in Dude Looks Like a Lady is he disgusted with what's going on or upset, or he's surprised.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, this is,
look at the crying game. Look at the crying game.
Right.
Those eyes, those thighs, surprise. I mean, and I stole that from Billy Crystal. But the point is that, would it take, I'll be quick because we got to wrap this up. But when I first met Amanda, she told me as we were driving back to her house that she was asexual. I did not know what asexual was. I thought that meant hermaphrodite. And the entire time we're driving back to her house, I'm driving and I got real quiet. She realized I was quiet, but what she didn't realize is I'm looking out of the corner of my eye to see if she has a bulge in her crotch. Like, does she have a dick? And is this a deal breaker? Obviously it wasn't. I'm Steven Tyler. Right. What can I tell you? I did not give a shit. She doesn't have a dick, folks, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter.
Well, I want to push back against this idea that everybody has to be willing to be disrespected, like as much as whoever is willing to allow it the most. You know what I mean? Like this, I'm not sensitive. I don't let things bother me. So you don't have to let things bother you. That's not how that should work at all. Every individual person should get to decide, what bothers who and why.
Right.
But at the same time, a part of being, a part of having something normalized in the culture is having it available to be the punchlines of jokes.
Right.
That is also a thing. And unfortunately, having grown up almost exclusively around white people, I can tell you definitively, unless we can make fun of it or use it in a marketing scheme of some kind, we are not interested. Period. So at the end of the day, if the plan is to get the man, to come around, you're gonna have to either deal with some really shitty jokes or some really shitty commercials, probably a bit of both. And them's the breaks. I'm sorry.
True.
It could be better. I know. But
yeah, I think I might get with him to see about making a best of with just using nothing but Christmas music.
Okay.
2 hours of Bob Rivers, 2 hours of some of the goofiest Christmas music you'll ever fucking hear. But on that note, we're going to wrap it up. For those that joined us on the live streams, thank you for coming aboard and watching me eat a gelatinous can of chicken, or at least some of it. Really, seriously, wasn't that bad. So we'll see you back on the 11th. I've been Dawn. The chatterbox to my right has been Amanda with her breastfeeding cat. She was not breastfeeding the cat. She was not breastfeeding the cat.
On the flight to Atlanta.
No. That's been Eric, and until we see you again, keep your rants in your pants.
Down.